Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and Coffee and Cartridges. Today we're going to talk about the 6.5 284 Norma, and we're going to answer this question: is it dead? Alright, so if you're not a regular at this channel, let me just tell you that the 6.5 284 Norma is probably my favorite cartridge. It and the 30-06 kind of battle it out for that #1 place, but I'm pretty sure at this time 6.5 284 is #1. Really liking the 270 short mag here recently. There's several cartridges that I just think are S tier, like the 6.8 Western, the 7 PRC, the 280 AI, 7mm OH really good too. I've got a lot of favorite cartridges, but I think my absolute personal favorite is the 6.5 284. Now, I never recommend that cartridge to anybody for one reason: it's not available. It's not common, and it's hard to find components or factory ammo for it, and if you do, it's usually pretty expensive. So a cartridge that I really like personally doesn't mean I'm going to recommend that. There's a few other 6.5s I'd probably recommend before the 6.5 284, just because it's going to be hard to find anything for it at the store. But now, if you're a reloader like me and you're okay with having an obscure cartridge, in fact you kind of like it, then it's definitely a cool cartridge, and it's really better, I think, than most people give it credit for. A lot of you probably know this, but let me give just a quick rundown. Its parent case is the 284 Winchester, and it was a great cartridge, well ahead of its time, but poor marketing choices and putting it in rifles that didn't really maximize its potential hurt the cartridge, and it never really caught on. As all cartridges, as soon as a new one comes out, wildcatters begin to neck it up, neck it down, kind of tinker with it. And the most popular of those wildcats was the 6.5 284 Winchester. Simply the 284 neck down to 6.5 caliber. As the decades go on, it starts to become really popular in long-range target shooting, specifically in F-class. Becomes one of the most popular cartridges, and Norma decides to go ahead and standardize it. They change it up a little bit. The 6.5 284 Winchester Wildcat's not exactly the same as the Norma. They definitely, when they were creating the Norma version of it, thought about it being in more of a long action and not a short, which is why it has an overall length of like 3.2 inches. And Norma did this, they standardized it in the year 1999. Now, I believe everyone who began to adopt this cartridge was thinking of it in terms of long-range target shooting, not really hunting, but it started to become known as a pretty good hunting cartridge. Now, of course, the big 6.5 that had been around for 100 plus years was the 6.5 by 55 Swede. And this was just a little step up, not that much different, but just a little step up, has more case capacity, and can get that bullet going a little bit faster. Now, the first roadblock that the Norma had, the 6.5 Norma had, was that 2 years prior, Remington had released the 260. Of course, the 260 is just a neck down 308. It's going to have a little bit less recoil, not going to be quite as fast, but still a great cartridge. So there for several years, both cartridges were doing fairly well. Probably give the edge to the 260 just because of that 308 parent case. It's way more common than the 284. But both cartridges were doing okay. And then, of course, in 2007, the 6.5 Creedmoor came out, which was not an immediate success, but as time has went on, it's kind of supplanted both of those cartridges. Now, me personally, I think the 6.5 284 does everything the Creedmoor does, but just a little better. But that's just my personal opinion. However, you can't argue with success, you can't argue with availability. So right now it's a lot easier to find factory ammo for the Creedmoor than the 284 Norma. And it's going to be a lot cheaper, and you're going to find, 20 to 1, maybe 30 to 1 rifles chambered in the 6.5 Creedmoor versus the 6.5 284. So that's why I don't recommend the 6.5 284 over other 6.5 cartridges like the Creedmoor. But me personally, I definitely prefer it. Now, there had been Magnum cartridges like the 6.5 Rim Mag and the 264 Win Mag that had been out, not really with a ton of success, but that 6.5 284 Norma really kind of made its name in the long-range target shooting. But then the Creedmoor comes out, and the 260 also is really good, so it's happened to kind of share the field with other cartridges similar to it that are also great at target shooting. But what it had over those cartridges, not the Magnums, but the Creedmoor and the 260, was it just had a little bit more case capacity, going to give you just a little bit more velocity. Until the 6.5 PRC comes out, 26 Nosler comes out. So not only was there the old Magnums that was much faster than the Norma, now there's the new Magnums, I guess, that are even faster still. The PRC is about the same speed as the Norma, maybe just a little bit faster. But once again, more available. Easier to find rifles for, ammo for. So the 6.5 284 has found itself sandwiched between a Hornady, rock and a hard place. The 6.5 Creedmoor and the 6.5 PRC. And so it's really, really tough to see, or hard to see how it's going to come out of this. Even Weatherby has come out with their 6.5 Weatherby RPM, which guess what that is? It's just a 6.5 284 lengthened and even more case capacity. So it really seems like it's over for the cartridge. Now for me, it's definitely not over. I am in love with the cartridge. I'm going to be getting some Norma Bond Strike bullets here before too long, and I'm going to be testing those out. I've already got some hand loads with Nosler partitions, ELDXs, and Berger VLDs. I also have some Spear 120 grain hot cores that I believe are discontinued, but I'm going to be loading those up in the 6.5 284 Norma. So for me and some hand loaders that love the cartridge, we're going to keep using it, keep loving it. But in the big scheme of things, to answer the question of the title, is it dead? Yeah, it is. But should it be dead? Now, it is what it is. Let's kind of compare this cartridge to some other 6.5s and see if it really warrants dying. All right, let's do some comparison here. 6.5 Creedmoor, 140 grain bullet. You're gonna max out around 2,700 feet per second, maybe a little more. Let's compare that to the Norma. 6.5 284, same bullet. About 2,952 is your max. So that's a 200 feet per second difference. However, this is a 26-inch barrel and the Creedmoor was a 24 in the manual. So take another 25 feet per second off of that, and you're actually still about 200 feet per second. Let's look at the PRC. Once again, 26-inch barrel, 6.5 PRC, around 31, 13, something like 150 foot per second advantage over the 6.5 284 Norma. Just for comparisons, here's the 6.5 Rim Mag. This is with a 24-inch barrel, 3064. 264 Win Mag, same bullet, 24-inch barrel, 3085. And then the 26 Nosler, same bullet, a lot more case capacity, 26-inch barrel, quite a bit more, 3346. So as you can see, it's right there with the PRC. It's definitely a step up from the 260, the Swede, or the Creedmoor. And it really is a great cartridge. Love that 35-degree shoulder angle. Love the 284 case, period. It's just a great case. Now, the only rifle manufacturer that I know of that's still chambering it is Savage, which is why I like Savage. One of the reasons I like Savage. They have it in several of their 110s. They have the 6.5 284 Norma. That's awesome. Go Savage. Keep on doing that. Is there going to come a day where they stop? I don't know. And the thing I love about the Savage 110 chambered in 6.5 284 is it's on long action. It's just perfect to seat those bullets out really far. 6.5 284 Norma, of course, at one time had the world record for the tightest group at 1,000 yards in F-class. That has been topped many times since that day, but at one time it was the bee's knees for F-class 1,000-yard shooting. I do know that the Gunworks guys there for a while was chambering the 6.5 284. In fact, went to Africa and kind of showed it off, and it's a really cool YouTube video if you want to watch that. using that 6.5 284 to take down several different species of African game, you know, around that 300 to 500 yard distance. It performed quite good. The 6.5 284 is not a speed demon. It never has been a speed demon. It's always been about kind of matching the performance of the 30-06 case. So 6.5 284 versus a 6.5 06, it's going to be real close. The 06 might have a little bit extra case capacity, but it's very similar. Your 284 case is very similar in case capacity to your 30-06 case. Not exactly, but very similar. So the 284 has always been just a little bit more efficient version of the 30-06, but of course in a different caliber, but not toned down so far to the 308. It's kind of that middle ground. It's just like an intermediate cartridge in between that 308 sized case and that 30-06 case. If you're looking just for full out speed, no, it's not the cartridge for you. If you're looking for extreme accuracy, it definitely seems to be an inherently accurate cartridge. So for me personally, it definitely has its place, and I'll continue to load for it and really respect it and like it. But I do feel like its days are numbered, and I feel like it's about to go by the wayside. But let me raise my mug of coffee and say, hail to the 6.5 284. You're a very underrated rifle cartridge, as was your parent, the 284. Awesome. 6.5 284, you have been awesome. And if I'm wrong and there's a resurgence, I'll be thrilled, but I think the 6.5 284 is dead, but not for me. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Comment below, tell me if you have any experience with the 6.5 284. If not, tell me what your favorite 6.5 cartridge is. I'd like to hear about it. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Many more videos like this will be coming out. Check the description below for some links to some other stuff that I got going on. Hopefully you've had a great day, and until next time, take care.